Okay, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on frequency. This is the worldwide DATV Net hosted by ZA6YI today near Johannesburg, about 50 kilometers south of Johannesburg, where there's been quite a rainstorm and quite a bit of lightning. Today, we also wish to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite with our amateur satellite, which was developed by AMSAT DL. That's the German AMSAT, as well as a lot of advice and assistance with AMSAT UK, and of course the British Amateur Television Club. And we are honored to have their chairman on today. Welcome, Martin. It's been quite a while since we've seen you on the net. And also Mike, it's nice to have you back on. Mike, an excellent signal from you two guys. Right, today, let's just see who we have on the list, if I can get there. And let's bring up the list. There we go. We've got Ed, hopefully, to follow. I don't think Leon will be in. So, Martin, KOE, if you can just give a pause in case Leon wants to say hi. I know he wanted to leave at 4, that's why he's on top. But if he's not there, he's not there. And then you pass it to Martin. Well, I call the other Martin is Martin number 1. And then hello to Phil, saw you testing just now. And hello to you, Benno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray. And then to Mike, and then back to me. So it's going to be quite a short net by the sounds of it, which is fine. Right, I don't know if Ed's on. I just always put him on because he hasn't got time. He needs to run out. It's a bit late for him as well. Perhaps Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, failing which, that is 1MM, failing which Martin, G8KOE. From ZA6YI. Failing which Martin GB from ZA6YI. Failing. I think you can safely take it, Martin, please, ZA6YI. I think you...
Good. Hopefully I've got it. Oh, I do like these. I don't know. I had all sorts of problems. I presume he's not even watching because I was going to stick the rocket launch on again for him. I'd got it ready just in case he was going to pop up, Leon. But anyway, not to worry. Let's turn that down there so I don't have things in my ear. What have I been up to? Well, this bits and pieces, shall we say. As Leon's not there, I can actually mention the radialess node again. I'm almost frightened to mention things. But see, put him off all star. As I think last week I had problems with the driver board dying. Let's run through. I'm not really... These are the pictures of what my node used to look, the radialess one. Really junk. And that was the board that was in there that was recommended by the information that was on the website. But I didn't remove the resistor, which left bias on there. So whether it was the bias that killed it, I don't know. But it died. And that's the board. That's in there. But since then, hopefully I've now stuck this one in, which was one I had previously, which I couldn't get to work because it had all sorts of hums and bits and pieces and such like, and I neatly put it in there, as you can see. And when I put it in there, it's the Max 4466, so much gain and buzzing and you name it. So I'd fit it from the same spot of this capacitor that's got the 5 volts on it on the fob, sound fob, which I'd had a big electrolytic on it, which was suggested. But anyway, I had to add another resistor and another capacitor, which to my surprise cleaned it up a treat and got rid of all the nasty noises, etc. I assume that's a 20 ohm resistor, but I don't really know. I never measured it. I took the pictures and thought I'd read the value of the resistor, but I couldn't see other than those bands there. Or was it put anyway? Whatever it is, I've got a small resistor. Someone's going to tell me it's 0.2 of an ohm or something, and this capacitor on it, and clean it up a treat. And that board is what I use now. I've actually got a replacement for the other one, but it's working well. That's the speaker I use. I'm tempted to stick another speaker in there, so I've got plenty of them. But that's the radialist node as it stands now, and that's it boxed up. So that's working well. Now the other thing that I've been having problems with is the PC. Funny enough, yesterday it locked up, and the day it locked up, I lost virtually everything. And let's go to the centre screen. Looking through, I found this error in the control manager in the events. The IQ CCS service failed. It's failed a couple of times looking in there, and it seems to be tied up with the graphics. So whether it's the new graphics driver that I've put on recently that's causing some issues, I don't know, but I haven't had a chance to look into that. But I suspect Mike will have looked it up and tell me all about it by the time it gets to his turn. The other thing that I've been suffering with, not the sort of power cuts, but the UPS that I had monitoring or feeding the main PC wasn't really large enough to feed the monitors as well. So I invested in a slightly larger one, which I didn't really want to do, but I keep getting those intermittent power cuts of just a few seconds. So I didn't need a power supply that was going to last for too long, but I got a 900 watt one, which is sufficient to power up the four monitors, plus all the other bits and pieces that I've got. And let's go over to HAR. Let's go to the centre screen again. That's what it looks like when it's powering the whole of my station. How long it would power for, I don't know, but if it was anything of any length of time, then I'd be shutting things down. It was just to take those nasty little intermittent short power cuts. So that was it. And if I go to the next screen, he says, I'm sure there's another one there. Yep, that's what it looks like when it's powered up, and the obviously the battery end one flashes until it's put it back into to life, but just seems to sit there and do its thing. And you quite often see the input fluctuate and the output just sits there constant. That goes up and down a few volts. So quite humoured with that, although not humoured with having to spend the money. But I was a bit concerned of my main PC getting damaged, which is why we went there. So we've done that. Oh yeah, for people who don't know what roughly my setup looks like, we can go to a centre screen. That's roughly, it's changed slightly. and that's the sort of number of monitors, things and such that are going, and on down underneath on the right hand side above the big power supply is hotspots and Winter Hill and etc, 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 but it powers the whole lot quite happily. And there's a big bird's nest of cables behind it. I try and put it tidy, it just doesn't work out. So that's where we are. Oh, the other thing that I have found is with the QO Pro camera, I get every so often that OBS wouldn't find it. The conclusion I've come to is that the QO operating software that you put on takes control sometimes of it and won't let go. So I've actually uninstalled all that. I just do all the control from within OBS, and it's been really happy since then. So far, touch wood, it'll probably fail today. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. That, and also playing obviously with the All-Star, which is working well, shall we say. I think, yes, I've got it still on. Had to confirm that we were. Let's go to the centre screen again, which is easier. That's who's connected at the moment. And we go to the bubble map. And I've changed what it's called in the centre there. So it's now node 47572 DATV Talkback, and my locator as such. So I thought that looked better, but that I only did this morning. And the other thing, whilst looking through all the manuals and bits and pieces I keep doing, I see the way in which it ALM3 registers is now with HTTP and HTTPS for its registration, as opposed to the other one that used AIX to register. Apparently the server used to be in the States and have priority depending how close you were to the States, and is quite resource hungry, whereas the HTTP side of things is in the cloud now, which is a new server that ASL3 uses, is a lot quicker. Now, all those technical people understand that, and I don't. So, talking to technical people, it's over to that other Martin. I think it's time for him. So, it'll be a test car from me, then it's over to you from G8KOE.
Yep, okay, Martin, just left a small gap there in case Ed or Leon wanted to jump in, and all very good. Well, this is very exciting being at home on a Sunday afternoon. Normally sometimes we're at home, but we've normally got my daughter over for lunch, and if she's not over for lunch, we're around at hers for lunch, so it's nice not to be here, but the reason is Katie, my daughter, is heading back from Las Vegas. This might be a one-over job, Gary. She's due to land about 3:30, so we might get a call or instructions to... I don't think we're going to have to pick her up from the airport. That's one good thing, because she's landing at Heathrow, which is a horrendous journey along the M25 from here. Anyway, the point is I'm here, and it's a pleasure to be back. So very good afternoon, morning, evening to anyone who's watching this afternoon here. Gary, sorry to hear you got thunderstorms on the way. Hopefully that won't set anything off in the shack. I got, recently, I was going to say probably a month or two ago, a tree just down the road from here, and only about a couple of 100 yards, got struck by lightning, And I thought, well, we got away with that. I mean, it was a huge bang and frightened the life out of the cat. Not me at all, obviously. And but in fact, it had taken out the front end of my 4-metre transverter, so I had to repair that. But that, touch wood, seems to be the only damage incurred. But that was a bit close for comfort. Yeah, we've been here 25 years, and we've never had one as close as that before. Martin, yes, I've modified All-Star a bit today. We've got a guest coming tomorrow, one of Anne's friends, and she'll be staying in the spare bedroom number 1, which has been the home for my All-Star node for the last few weeks. But I was instructed in no uncertain terms that had to move. So I thought, well, I'll just move it. That's not a problem. We've got another spare room. But then I forgot I've not wired the other room for local area network, so I had to reconfigure the node for Wi-Fi. Anyway, that touch wood seemed to work okay. It seems to be working just as well as when it's on the wired network. Yeah, Mike was asking whether your UPS creates any noise on any band. I think I told you last time I spoke to you, Martin, the first UPS I bought for the shack here just created havoc on the lower HF bands, so that had to go. But the new one is, well, I say new, I've had it 10 years now, is as quiet as a mouse. And I reckon that resistor's 2 ohms. Was it red, black, gold? Yeah, what was that, Martin? I missed that. Martin said something on the. He said something on All-Star, but I'm. Oh, it's clean on VLF. Well, that's the main thing these days, isn't it? Because top band's wiped out by everyone else's switch mode power supplies here, anyway. Right, good. Yes, I reckon that's 2 ohms. Although it's only got 3 bands on it. You'd think it might have a tolerance code if it was a 0.2 ohm. Right, well, I've got very little else to report. We've been very busy here. We have another small property not far from here, which we rent out, and the tenant moved out. So we went along to find that we had to replace all the windows due to lack of maintenance. Well, lack of care on her part, and various other things have got to be done. So we've been doing that. She moved in yesterday, and we've not had any complaints yet. The new tenant, that is, moved in yesterday. So we hopefully, fingers crossed, we've fixed anything that was wrong there. And yeah, we were a bit too kind with the previous tenant, because we put her rent up £25 in 12 years. So we seem now to be getting more, which is good. I noticed Ari, TF1A, is on the chat. Ari, I don't know if you're going to join the net. You said you might be demonstrating, but maybe just the receive side. But I'm fairly sure I've worked Ari on 4 meters, in fact. So be nice to see you on the satellite, Ari. Just let us know in the chat, and Gary can fit you onto the list. Talking of which, about time I bumped it round. So round to you, Phil, M0PIT, and the worldwide net, G4 Fox King standing by.
Oh, right. Now I can see myself. I think audio's going out to kill that. Don't want a lot of feedback. Good afternoon, good morning, evening, wherever you are. Nice to be on the net, as always. I don't really have a lot to contribute, really. All I can talk about really is what I've been playing around with during the week. Oh, Martin's moaning about focus. Okay, let's give it a kick. Okay, 1, 2. There you go. Why it does that, I do not know. It's a quirk of OBS or Linux, I don't know. But anyhow, I think it's all right now. My PA, which sits right next to the dish in a wooden garden cabinet, is controlled by an Arduino, and I use Ethernet to communicate with it, and via a browser. But an Arduino is not a web server, so basically it sends out code which is equivalent to what a web server would send out. But anyhow, it's on a Mega, and the code is quite large to produce a web page, and the bottom line is it's a bit slow, but it works, and it's been working like that for about 2 years. But I want to put it on a faster platform, which I think I mentioned last week, which is a Nucleo 64 board, and shove a Ethernet shield on the top of it. In order to do that, I need to share the SPI bus, and that bus is used by the Ethernet shield, and I've been trying to get it to share, and I've failed. However, what I did then attempt to do, which I have succeeded to some point, is I had an Arduino Duo which runs a lot faster than a Mega, and I put the code in it. I had the Ethernet shield on it, and I've been trying to control a digital attenuator, which is it's a PE4302, which is a digital attenuator that sits on an SPI bus, but it's sharing it with the Ethernet card. Well, up until just before the net, I believed I'd got it working and using an oscilloscope, and all the signals were there, but the attenuator did not work. And just before I got everything ready for the net, I happened to notice that when I sent a particular value to the attenuator, it did actually work. But when I increased the value, it didn't work. It totally attenuated, i.e. I got absolutely nothing out of it at all. But I just happened to notice that I think the bit stream, the data bit stream, which is the value that I'm sending, I think is wrong. And I don't know if it's wrong because the last bit is going first, or the first bit is going last, or the actual value is wrong. But I did look at it on the oscilloscope, and I could see that when I increased the value, the bit stream, the 1 if you want, was high, but it was right up at one end, and I think that's what it is. But anyhow, it's very boring, I'm sorry to say. I found it quite interesting, but you probably didn't. So I don't really want to bore you too much with the ins and outs of programming digital attenuators. But that's really all I've been doing. That's all that I've been really doing during the week. Obviously I've been doing other things, but in terms of electronic stuff, I haven't really been doing a great deal. I haven't been down the museum. I do plan at some point when I go down there, I'll do a bit of video for you guys. So I'll do a walk around the National Museum of Computing, so you can get the flavour of what kit we've got down there. I've done one for the NRC, as you know, and I've done one for Colossus as well. But the actual museum itself, I think I'll do a video. But I have to go down there when the public aren't there, because it's not particularly good walking around with a phone in front of you with the general public bushing into you, etc. But anyhow, yeah, that's all I've really been up to. So I think I should probably hand it over to, who's next? To Benno. Benno's probably got a lot more interesting stuff than what I've been talking about. I hope I haven't bored you too much. So anyhow, Benno, I don't know if you're ready, but I'm going to put up a test card and kill my carrier, and then it's, oh, my signal level's gone down a bit, but that's because the PA is getting warm. Right then, Benno, test card, here we come, and then it's over to you, mate.
That's a bit quiet. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, I was ready. Yeah, and video sharpness. Well, it's sharp enough to see the mess in my shack, so it's sharp enough for me, Phil. Yeah. Actually, I've seen bits and pieces of that video you mentioned just before. It's nice to see and to have a look around from your shack. Hi. Yeah, playing with stuff I did much, and I'm going to do some more within. So Martin brought me, and that's Martin 1, brought me into this thing called All-Star, and that took a little better part of the last month for me. Well, the main thing I did is, I can actually show my professional setup is 3 handhelds on 3 bands, basically 2 meters, 70 cents and 23 cents, and they're all connected to the same antenna. That was the neat and the easy one, and they are connected to 3 of those boards I designed, which works. Actually, I made version 2 of them to get some components better placing. But the thing of this part nicely works. They are connected to one Raspberry running 9 nodes, and so why you want to have 9 nodes on one Raspberry? Well, the fun thing is now you can connect between the nodes easily. So I can now combine, well, I can go into 2 meters and come out of 70 cents or 23 cents, or connect some local repeaters in and outputs. So you can do all fun things now if you have this kind of setup. And also I have one port, one node input for the IX repeater, which is running on my desktop, and I have one node running on my DV switch, which isn't working very nice, but it works. But I'm not completely happy with that. And let's put nothing much happening there besides some blinking LEDs. I have 2 nodes connected to 2 Echolink repeaters, Echolink nodes, which are connected to Echolink repeaters. So actually I am capable now in combining and locking up like any phone switchboard to connect repeaters to each other and well, make a big mess, because that's what I already found out. If you have so many voice channels you want to monitor, you get really crazy, and I can't follow all things. I already got several others to be interrupted in their story. So so if you start speaking on one of the back channels, yeah, it's always a big problem what you're paying attention to. I see there's someone wants to talk to me on the back channel, but I'm not listening at the moment because I don't have my ears on, because I use those kinds to focus on one or two other channels at the moment. Okay, well, that's basically what I did. What I have figured out, what I didn't figure out yet. I want to try to run on a Raspberry which runs, for instance, write, a previous version or a current version of Allstar, and see if I can combine those two, because a write receiver does a little bit, but it's by no means fully occupied with a radio signal, with a receiving signal. So it might be something simple like an extra node solving the problem of an extra Raspberry. And obviously, if you think about that, if you're going to install it into the local repeater, like I have 4 Raspberries already in my repeater, I think the Allstar should fit on one of them. So that's something I'm going to play on. And another thing, and that's completely out of this structure, and maybe I can quickly, well, no, I'm going to explain it. We know the the write receiver is capable in receiving commands from, for instance, QuickTune to control the frequency. And let me switch off this a little bit. You can send commands to the write via the network to, well, do things like mute the audio or volume or whatever. I know that because Tom made this great tool which is on a mobile phone, where you can control your write receiver over the network. Well, that works fine. So now the next idea from myself is to use that function also on the local repeater, to be able to make a web-based page via Node-RED to control that messages. And that's something I, well, need some help from Tom or from Tim, because I need to figure out what the structure is of. So that's a completely different story, and those things I'm going to learn. In the meantime, I'm waiting for the reception of the new board, the new version 2 board of those modem boards, and well, if they are in, they are, well, pretty fast, ready to ship out to the people who like them. I already got some questions about that, and I would say somewhere by the end of this week I should have prepared some of the boards ready for shipment. If someone likes one of those well, see. What's an easy one to get? That's not the easy one. That's an easy one. That's probably the easiest one. That's one of those boards which do the to a Baofeng modem for the All-Star. It works just by plugging it in and setting it up in All-Star. Okay, well, that's basically it. And basically all besides the weather here is between sunny weather and occasionally a hail shower or cold, so it's between dry and wet. During the day a lot of small showers, but pretty much nice weather for the time of year, I would say, in Holland. If I would be in Spain it would be much worse. Mike, are you ready to get the frequency from Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-ray? And I'm putting a test card on and a little bit audio. Bye bye.
Thanks, Benno. You were a bit quiet actually on that over, so I'll have deafened anybody who turned up the volume. Thanks, Benno. Ooh, thought I'd muted that. Anyway, good, all good, and looks like a nice board. Lots of parts on it. I've not got anything to show really. It's a bit disappointing. I've not done anything for a while, which is why I've not been on really. So I can't show any PCBs or anything like that. So not a lot to discuss, but it's good to see everyone again, and hear what people have been up to. Hoping that Ari might come on at some point, but also Fabiano says he's going to come on now, so that's good. And I commented on the flowers, Martin, of course. The question for the other Martin now was about his UPS, as to whether it generated any interference on HF, but if you don't operate on HF I guess you wouldn't notice, but sometimes these things have switch mode power supplies and generate a lot of interference, but hopefully not. Like you, we get very frequent, very short power cuts of the order of 10 seconds, enough to make everything fail, but the way it works is you don't get any compensation. You only get compensation if the power's off for a significant amount of time, which it usually isn't. But it does disrupt absolutely everything. I've stopped setting clocks on cookers and microwaves and anything that's not radio controlled and running off the mains these days, because there's no point. What was that about VLF, Martin? I didn't catch that. Oh, there's a bit of a delay, isn't there? That was Martin on the talkback. Right, anyway.
Demonstrated with the UPS on.
Right, okay. So, but it's not usually VLF, it's usually HF where you get the noises. Well, it depends what you define as VLF, I suppose. Anything from a few hundred kilohertz upwards is where I've got interference. But yeah, if it works, it works.
1 hertz.
Not sure what's happening there. I'm missing the first few characters. I think it's my rig is slow to open the squelch, because it's on sort of a battery saver, so it's the receiver's not on for most of the time, and it probably takes a second to register. Right, anyway, never mind that. All-Star's working really well, so that's good. Nothing really to add or nothing to show anybody, so what I'll do is I'll pass it straight on to Fabiano, CT7 ABD. Hope you're ready. G0MJW.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I have audio. Let's check. 1, 2. Good afternoon. Okay, I have. Hello, everybody. Let's see the list. I just came from dinner table, lunch table. Gary, greetings from Portugal. Ed, Leon, Martin, other Martin. Go for Foxtrot, Kilo, Kilo. Phil. Hello, Phil. How are you? Beno, I listen you a part of your transmission, not I not watch it, sorry. Mike, thank you so much, sir. And that's okay. Yeah, a long time. I did not came online on the net. Yeah, this time is quite complicated to me. It's just the lunch time with family. But today we lunch a little bit earlier. The weather is cloudy and also a little bit cold. Not much, but it's quite cozy to stay on the couch watching TV. And then today I got some time to come to the DATV Net to see my friends. Most of times I watch only on the computer, laptop, remotely, downstairs on the couch. But today I took some time to be online. The station is the same, 3-meter dish. Everything it's running okay, no changes. The dish stay very aligned. Okay, the mount almost 1 year, very stable, very good. I'm happy, but time is complicated sometimes. Just to say, no much news on the satellite, but I want to send greetings to the team. It's on São Tomé and Príncipe, the expedition. I had a QSO with the people there. A lot of QSO, many bands on the HF, and also on the QO-100. Sierra 9 Zulu is active on the QO-100. I on the air, I believe, let me make calculation, 30 years. I never did a QSO with São Tomé. And I have 16 QSOs with the expedition. Greetings to Carlos, CT1 Echo November Delta is there operating the QO-100 on SSB and FTH. It's quite nice to have São Tomé on the log on QO-100 out. This is what I like to do. Look what is new, what I need, what not, what's on the air. And on the satellite, most of times I came to see what's going on, but time is complicated on this season for me. Okay, but everything is okay. Nice to see the people here on the net. Okay, I have the list on the different computer. Okay, Phil Martin Golf 8 Kilo Oscar Echo. I'm sure you are happy to see again the professional station transmitting on the QO-100 net. All right, that's it for me. I watched the box fight. Mike Tyson came back again. I see Mike. I remember the Mike Tyson fight, the Saturday morning night. much active on the ATV, but I'm still watching. Nice to see everybody. I say greetings to all. I miss some friends from here, but no problem. Abraço ao Eduardo no Brasil. Eduardo, abraço para ti. All right, I go to the control station, Zulu Sierra 6, Yankee India. Gary, how are you, my friend? Greetings to you and family. From Charlie Tango 7, Alpha Bravo Delta. Let me see if I can operate. I still know how to operate my OBS for a long time. Here, just a close video. See you guys. I will be watching.
Okay, Fabiano, it's been good to see you again. You were breaking up on audio quite a bit. I don't know why that would be, but sometimes you'd freeze. So something you're overdriving, or your computer is not quite fast enough, but it was good to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time. Guys, I'm going to have to run off. We've got an issue at the salt mine with one of the molds for BMW, and they might have a line stoppage, so I better run off to the salt mine quickly, or to the work. We call our work salt mine. So I'm going to immediately pass it to Martin. I just want to say cheers to everyone on frequency, and I hope you don't have to go all the way to Heathrow, quite a drive, Martin, and always good to see you there. And noted on you're now in the second spare bedroom. And then Phil, yeah, cold, I can see. And it'll be good if you can get us a video. That's wonderful. And Benno, great on the good work there. And by the way, Phil, you're never boring, so it's all good. And yeah, Mike, yeah, I've done nothing but work. So will you please take it, Martin, KOE, and then will you wrap up the net in the end? G8 KOE from ZA6 Yankee India, bidding everyone on frequency a happy week.
Right. Well, thanks to All Star, I can hear that Martin has had another power cut. And despite the UPS, his Pluto's not on the UPS, so I'll waffle for a bit, Martin, and either let me know if you're on All Star or on the chat if you get it back. Otherwise, I'll push it round to Phil. But yeah, very good. Nice to see you, Fabiano. I don't think we've worked before, so very nice to. I've seen you on, but I don't think we've actually spoken before. And as Gary was saying, certainly here on my Winter Hill receiver, despite the fact you're very strong here, I was getting intermittent audio and picture freezing as well. I switched on my Ride receiver, which is a bit more tolerant of some things than the Winter Hill, but even that was freezing now and again. But I think we got everything from you, Fabiano, and say good to see you on. Phil, I don't know why your camera goes out of focus. To be honest, I didn't even notice until you said it, and until Martin complained about it. So there you go. And I missed the name of that single board computer. I've written nuclear SBC here, nuclear single board computer, but I imagine it's not the real title of it. And yeah, museum video would be very interesting. Good to see you, Benno. 1 pi and 9 nodes. That does sound. Oh, you're up. I'll put it round to you in a sec, then, Martin, and then you can close the net as well, as Gary suggested. Yeah, but then you explained why you've got 9 nodes, so that all makes sense. I'm wondering if my son is a wizard with computers, and he was round. He lives in Wales, so he's not often here. But last time he was here, I was saying, I've got all these Pis running these things. I'm sure some of them could be persuaded to run more than one thing at the same time. So he came up with a concept called containers, whatever that is. Well, I think I know what it is, but basically it's, you've got 2 operating systems running at the same time. And that seemed to work quite well, but I expect you know more about that than I do. And I don't know if Ari is still watching TF1 Alpha, but he was saying to you, Benno, that their volcano's about to explode again. And that happened a few years ago. And let me just show you this quick bit of video. Hopefully the sound isn't too deafening for it. But yes, last time the volcano erupted, we were allowed to fly our little aeroplanes over Gatwick. Normally we're not allowed anywhere near Gatwick. That's a friend of mine in the back who lives near Gatwick, so he'd never seen his house from the air. So I took him up in the little old Piper Cub. I won't put too much, but that's Gatwick in the distance. And we were allowed, on the first day we were allowed to fly over the runway. We were flying over at about 200 feet. And this particular day, it was a couple of days later, I took my friend up, and I asked the air traffic controllers, permission to fly along the runway at 200 feet. They said, well, you can fly along the runway, but not below 1,000 feet. I said, oh, we were allowed at 200 yesterday or the day before. And he said, yeah, all the neighbours complained. Because apparently loads of people were taking their little aeroplanes up and down the runway, including the